Oh, Alexa, turn on all lights. Hi, my name is Nicholas Joseph Rosales, and I am enunciating session number 55. And this is an unfinished slideshow video of my ideas at a glance. So this features some of my ideas, and I'm going to touch base on them as we go along. And I'm still creating this slideshow, but I wanted to go ahead and add it as a session to my Enunciation Perfection course. This is called The Mind of Nicholas Joseph Rosales, an autobiographical presentation. Hello, I am Nicholas Joseph Rosales. This is Ideas at a Glance. Here I will show you all the things I have been working on and have been working on these past 2.5 months. Today is December 12th, 2025. I am partially blind from an eye ulcer in my left eye. I have $2 to my name. I am optimistic with goals and more goals on top of goals on top of goals. And my main goal is making the world a more efficient place. Here are my ideas at a glance. Starting off, I would like to introduce you to Project Plubeit. Project Plubeit was the first workload I took in and created whenever I first went partially blind 2.5 months ago. This is a sensory deprivation to achieve sensory cognitive enhancement study. I have gifted you guys some of these folders with the whole project and study inside of it to let you be able to go ahead and do this on your own. At first, whenever I first created this, I was sober and I was sick for 1 month and partially blind. Okay, so I was new to all this. I spent 1 month in bed, and then I realized that a light switched on in my brain, and I don't consider myself disabled. Even though I am partially disabled physically, I cannot see out of this eye. Alright, so that led me to creating a study because I wanted to find out if that was the sole reason for me becoming more enlightened or smarter or whatever you want to call it. But I noticed a difference in myself, and so does my mother, and so do other people that tell me that they notice the difference in me. And I wanted to know once and for all if it was because of me going blind in one eye. Because I started thinking about it. And a lot of people that are blind in one eye are actually smarter than the average human being. And that has to do with science. Basically, you lose a sense, you gain a sense. Okay, so I wanted to reverse engineer this whole idea that disabled people can be, they are smarter. Okay, so I created this whole study, which is basically a study that blocks your vision in one eye for 1 month. But it's non-invasive, so you're not really going to lose your eyesight. You were just going to put an adhesive eye patch on your eye just to cover it. That's basically all I require you to do, besides write journals every day. And I have gifted you guys, some of you guys that are special, I have gifted you guys journals. The journals look like this. Some of them say ideas, some of them say big plans, some of them say other things, okay? Now, I want you to be writing in your journal every single day. And I believe that a journal is the perfect gift you can give somebody for any occasion. Because it gives them the tools to write down their ideas and their thoughts and their mind, which in turn, if they happen to pass away or die, you will have something to remember them by, something that is significant, something that is meaningful, and something that actually can grasp your attention and feel like you are surrounded by their energy, even long after they're gone, like the Bible did. So I think giving a gift of a journal is a great idea to give to anybody. I believe these are hard copy versions of our mind, and we cannot get anything hard copies unless we record it or unless we have a release of it. And the best way to get somebody's actual words is from their diary or their journal, because these are sometimes very intimate. These sometimes have your ideas. And sometimes you might think that your ideas are stupid, the most stupid ideas in the world. But later on in life, when somebody actually reads your journal, they will discover the brilliance of your mind and that maybe you weren't so stupid, okay? So you might have seen it as nothing or just a thought that you wrote down, but it actually is meaningful. Whenever you die, the person who loves you, who misses you the most, will be reading through your journal and basically having you right there beside them in the hard copy version of your mind encoded in this journal. So that is the way I see things, because that is how this in history we have read, and we always read books and things that people leave behind as hard copy versions of themselves. Basically, since we don't have their soul with us anymore, we still have this to grasp onto and to remember them by. Okay, now let me tell you more about Project Plubeit. The first page is a table of contents. All right, the table of contents is basically a list of the things included in the study, the itinerary, the invitation. Okay, the invitation is probably the second page I gifted you. And it says, you are not receiving this invitation by mistake. I am pleased to invite you to participate in our new innovative clinical trial project, which will rigorously investigate the cognitive and perceptual enhancements resulting from partial sensory deprivation. The study will commence with monocular vision, employing a simple eye patch to occlude sight in one eye. Participants will first dedicate 1 week to baseline observation, mindfully tracking their binocular vision usage and maintaining a daily journal. Following this, the eye patch will be worn continuously for 1 month. Future phases may extend to analogous interventions in other sensory domains, such as unilateral auditory deprivation or olfactory restriction, to explore comparable super-enhanced cognitive effects. At the conclusion of the 1 month intervention period, totaling 1 week of preparation plus 1 month of the study, we will convene all participants for a collaborative brainstorming session. This gathering will foster the generation of groundbreaking, forward-thinking ideas to assess cognitive awareness, challenge perceptual boundaries, and illuminate the remarkable adaptability of the human brain. With my strong conviction in the transformative potential of this approach, I am confident that you will emerge as a much happier, smarter individual, and you may find yourself so profoundly satisfied that reverting to binocular vision becomes entirely unappealing. If my thesis holds true, we will assemble a room full of exceptionally bright minds, eager to drive positive change, uncover scientific breakthroughs, and deepen our understanding of the cognitive capabilities we possess. We will be delighted to have you join us. Please contact Program Director Nicholas Joseph Rosales at projectplubeit@gmail.com. That is PROJECTPLUBEIT at gmail.com at your earliest convenience to discuss participation and to secure your place in this pioneering endeavor. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing how our new and illuminated and enhanced minds can make a difference in the world. And I offer my deepest respect and gratitude to all individuals with disabilities. Their minds have already taken an innovative approach, and they probably don't even know it yet. Okay, so that is that. The study consists of disclaimers, and those just basically tell you that it's 100% voluntary. It's your choice to join this, and that you're over 18 years old, or you have a guardian telling you it's okay, that you can do it, okay? Because you are physically going to be down an eye, there are some precautions you need to take, such as driving. When you drive, you gotta make sure that you look all the way around, because now you have eliminated this part of your vision. So you will not be able to see as you normally seen before. So there is a difference in physical changes like that, which I believe also activates your mind to utilize it in a different manner. Okay, so the next page is a month. It says month 1. Okay, for some of you guys it might say November. Okay, but I took off the November and I reformatted it so it can say month 1 and week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5, so that people can join the study at any time and also monitor their days, and maybe in the calendar they can actually fill in the questionnaires of the daily summary, the daily journal entries. The next few pages are the vision occlusion study, okay? And I have also included the hearing dynamic study, which I rarely touch base on, but it is included in the study, and that is, it is again cognitive sensory deprivation, that is covering one ear for 1 month with an earplug to achieve sensory cognitive enhancements. Okay, so that is a little bit different, but it is still the same idea in blocking a sense and gaining other senses cognitively. The next pages are the itinerary for that, okay? And then there's a page that says why this study is important. While this study is important because this study tests the hypothesis that continuous sensory deprivation rewires the brain to enhance cognitive functions like creativity, problem solving, and sensory compensation. By enforcing strict 24/7 eye patch wear, it ensures consistent sensory input reduction, maximizing neuroplasticity effects. The pre-study observation week establishes a baseline, while the post-study brainstorming session harnesses the collective power of superminds to generate groundbreaking ideas. This harnesses the collective power of superminds to generate groundbreaking ideas. So I told you my idea was to gather all of us together who did this project and study, gather us all together in one room and have a recreational meeting. A meeting to where all of our ideas can start. Okay, we will start our ideas and help each other bring them to life and figure out complex problems that we face for centuries together, because I believe that this whole room will be full of enhanced minds, sensory cognitive enhanced minds, which will in turn become smarter. And if you exercise it for that whole month, you will want to do this. You will have written all of your ideas in the journals I've given you. You will have listed them all to become at least a hard copy of that idea that you want to sprout and grow. That is the beauty behind journals as well, because you want your ideas to start, they're going to start off small. You're going to basically create them from the bottom to the top. And you have to start somewhere. Eventually, so all ideas start somewhere. So this can be a starting revelation. And this is why also I'm sharing these ideas, because I have started a lot of my ideas and I'm sharing them with you in this whole course. Okay, so my whole course is aimed at a few different things. Okay, my whole course is enunciation perfection. So I'm aiming it as a course to help you improve your speech skills, to rid you of accents, to rid you of stutters, mumbles, or lisps, fast speech, and any speech impediments you might have. By enunciating your words alongside me every single day, you have that sense of companionship with me. Like if I'm right there with you and we are doing it together. Because I am not stopping. I'm doing this every single day, and this is included in my course, okay? So I thought that was the most brilliant idea I've ever come up with, to include all of my ideas in this helpful speech training course. Alright, so my idea is to redefine limitations to make this scalable and inclusive. The study's accessible protocols can be replicated globally, democratizing access to cognitive enhancement and fostering a worldwide community of innovative thinkers. All right, and then I think Grok XAI, that is the artificial intelligence of X.com, and if it wasn't for X.com and Grok to help me with these, to help me bring these to life, I wouldn't have these hard copies in such a way that I can share them with you. Okay. And so it's helped me with proofreading it and just getting it out there in a professional manner so I can present it, okay? Because I don't want to be forever ghetto. I know I'm going to have ghetto in me all my life, but I don't want to speak that way, okay? So I thank Grok for that. And what else? There's a final survey to determine future research studies, okay? This asks you basically if you felt like after you finished the study, other senses were heightened in your mind. That is the bottom line. That is the data that I need back from you guys if you guys did do this study to make it a factual concept. And if it is a factual concept, I can get backers behind us to start integrating this study within the whole world, to make the whole world a little bit more smarter. Okay, the last page is, by the way, it says, by the way, I'm collaborating with professionals, some doctors. I'm asking them if they can get me a vision occluding contact lens. This will eliminate the need for eye patches. Okay, but a lot of times these doctors don't like contact lenses for some reason because the contact lenses are what caused my eye ulcer, supposedly. Okay, so these contact lenses, they are mostly against, some ophthalmologists are against wearing contact lenses or want you not to wear them, so it's kind of like I'm asking them for something they don't want to usually prescribe for the, and so I haven't really gotten a response, okay? But I know that these contact lenses do exist, and they exist for people with albinism, and they exist for people with myelopia and dilopia, or something like that. They exist, so I know that there shouldn't be that complicated to get, okay? But I just need a yes from a doctor to prescribe me a vision occluding contact lens, and to actually, but I can't be prescribed it because my eye is injured. Remember, I have an eye injury, so I want to be able to buy one, like, and then gift it to somebody who wants to be part of this project, or have them go and get one fitted for them personally, because a lot of people don't want to wear an eye patch, okay? And I noticed that, like, people say the main excuse is I gotta work, I gotta be in public all the time, okay? I'm like, well, so do partially disabled people all the time, and you don't, but they can't help it. They have to be partially blind, okay? You have a choice, and if work is stopping you from making that choice to become smarter, then you're always gonna stay kind of stupid. If you're letting work get in the way of you wanting to better yourself and become a smarter individual, when I have all the facts that say it will work, then there's something wrong with you. You are fighting against yourself. You are stopping your own personal growth. You are the only thing in the way of your successfulness. That is what I don't understand. But I mean, I'm not going to force anyone to do it because I know that it will probably take me to force people to do it. I will probably have to force people to do it if I was that type of person, but I'm not. Um, However, I do believe logically, if my studies are successful and that it is a fact that you are going to become smarter, I would think that we can integrate it within the whole world to make the whole world a smarter place so we can, as a unit, grow together. That was Project Plubeit, my first idea that I started a while ago. Oh, 2.5 months ago. Okay. And at the very least, Project Plubeit will not be in vain, because with me pushing this project, for this free project, this free study people can do on their own. They have the materials now, they have the instructions, they have the guide, they know what they need to do is just cover your eye. I have shared this, and I will continue to share this for the rest of my life until I know for a fact this doesn't work, or if it does work. But at the very least, I will put it in people's mind to want to become a smarter individual. Okay? And subconsciously, that will be in everyone's brain. If they read this, just by reading this, it will be an idea in their brain, and they will wonder all the time, and that in turn will make them want to become a smarter individual. And the next idea I had was this course, Enunciation Perfection. It was at first titled 30 Days for 30 Minutes, Enunciation Perfection with Nicholas Joseph Rosales. But that is a mouthful of words, so I shortened it to Enunciation Perfection. And I've already completed 53 sessions. Okay, 53 sessions of me recording live content like this, except that I had them separated as a slideshow presentation and as a video of me performing or presenting my ideas in that way, in an enunciating manner. I have recently barely figured out that I can do 2-in-1 and merge my performing the whole presentation alongside the slideshow. So that eliminates a lot of space for me on the flash drives that I get. And I will probably be able to add more stuff to this USB flash drive that I got in. And let me show you that right now. So I told you I finished my 30 sessions, okay, because I promised it was going to be 30 sessions in 30 days, and you will improve your speech within that allotted time. I finished all that. Now it's just a matter of me inserting what's missing in all the sessions, even though they all should be there. I have video data for all of them, of me performing them at the very least. But the most part, I mean, sometimes it might be missing a slideshow presentation or a script, okay? But that is where you come along and you practice, and you can go ahead and create what you believe is missing, and record it or create it yourself, because I have included a PowerPoint presentation tutorial on how to make your own PowerPoint in this Enunciation Perfection course. So there's a lot of features in here for you guys as well. I had taught you how to use Microsoft PowerPoint. I'm teaching you how to do this every day as your accountability buddy. This is a flash drive I've gotten. This is the case I decided to buy for it. Right here it says Enunciation Perfection by Nicholas Joseph Rosales. And right here it says the same thing. Enunciation Perfection by Nicholas Joseph Rosales. That is a picture of me. And this is a USB flash drive. It's a 32 gig USB flash drive that I have my course on, Enunciation Perfection by Nicholas Joseph Rosales. This is another case for the next flash drive I am gifting, and some of these will be gifted to people for Christmas. I will gift them to people, and I want to have an abundance of these so I can give away to people. And again, this is going to be my way of getting everything that I've been doing these past 2 months and throwing them in one big product. Okay, a product that I want to sell, because I'm gonna need some money. My goal is not to make money, but I want to earn money from all this work somehow, some way, and that I believe this is the best way of doing so, because now it's getting all my ideas out there. Mi vida loca. Okay, so that is that. It's a self-designed speech training program focused on achieving clarity, precision, and excellence in verbal communication. The core practice consists of deliberately enunciating all words for a continuous 30-minute period. I have personally recorded myself delivering the content, incorporating all key ideas presented in an accompanying slideshow presentation. As the latest update, I completed 54 sessions. Each session features a 30-minute recording of deliberate enunciation practice intended to serve as an accountability tool and accountability buddy for participants. These recordings reinforce the importance of effective communication in the pursuit of speech perfection. The program specifically targets the enunciation of common speech impediments, including regional foreign accents, mumbles, lisps, stutters, and other sounds such as ums. Like and I know a lot of people say a lot, and that is a pet peeve. Even myself, I say too much, and I don't like to say because is not a word. Well, it's a very stupid word. It is a placeholder word, and we need to rid ourselves of placeholder words and actually fill in those words with real meaningful words, okay? So these are just ways of lazily throwing our paragraphs into some sort of weird, unprofessional format. Whenever we can eliminate the ums, we'll eliminate some form of retardedness. Consistent daily practice is designed to develop advanced speech skills, resulting in participants becoming significantly more confident and effective speakers overall. In the spirit of mutual benefit, helping you help me help you, the release of this course, its associated ideas, aims to disseminate proven techniques for improved speech on a broader scale. I am seeking collaboration with individuals who can assist in transforming the program to a widely beneficial resource that promotes enhanced communication globally. Suggestions for potential investors are welcomed in a discreet manner. Additionally, participants who may lack their own material for practice are encouraged to utilize the provided scripts, recordings, and ideas during their sessions. The approach not only supports their training but also familiarizes them with the accompanying concepts, fostering deeper understanding and potential support for furthering the program's reach. I plan on gifting my course to a select few and then selling it to consumers everywhere. I am open to ideas on how to do this in the most efficient way possible with the best chance at revenue streams. I will be doing this for the rest of my life. Another idea I come to find myself writing about all the time is the adventures of Kakamoko. Now, the most recent idea I had about this story would be to collaborate or to combine it with, if I don't know if you remember the Who Framed Roger Rabbit story, our movie a long time ago. I thought that movie was pretty cool, but I have yet to see a modern day version of something that hybridly throws in animation with human life in a way so cool. I believe now with the technology that we have today, the animation and the human filming will collaborate in a unique money making idea, because that was a cool movie. And I like that movie. Remember Jessica Rabbit? She was an animated figure inside of a real movie. Okay, so that is how I kind of want my franchise of The Adventures of Kakamoko to be, because he is an immortal fairy who doesn't have wings. Okay, he is a fairy that was murdered by another immortal. Okay, and he was murdered by, he got pushed. Okay, so in my story, there is a character named Ponce de Leon. And my story is derived from our past history in the U.S., all of our history, okay? So it is going to be based on historical, real historical facts, okay? So like when Christopher Columbus discovered America from 1492 and till modern day, we are going to be able to right around these factual histories to make this both an educational content, mythical and magical series and movie, and also factually based adventures. Okay, so it's gonna have everything basically. The Adventures of Kakamoko, shortened summary: a hybrid live-action slash animated family adventure series with a modern Who Framed Roger Rabbit twist. Core concept: Kakamoko is a tiny immortal fairy inches tall with delicate wings that are missing and a magical glow, revived by the Fountain of Youth in the early 1500s. Now there is more to this story, okay? Ponce de Leon pushes Kakamoko as a human being, and Ponce de Leon knows about Kakamoko being a fairy, okay? So he sees him in animated form. But Kakamoko doesn't know about Ponce de Leon, because Ponce de Leon is actually a villain throughout all these stories because he's been collecting all of these immortals. Okay? And you don't know an immortal until you are an immortal. Or you can't see them as an immortal until you are an immortal. But you can still mask it, okay? So basically, Ponce de Leon pushes Kakamoko into the Fountain of Youth. And Kakamoko ends up dying inside there because he drowns. Okay, so with the magical waters of the Fountain of Youth submerging throughout his body and inside of his lungs and everything, it creates this magical thing, but he ends up dying. Okay, so he dies, and then Ponce de Leon jumps in the waters to revive him, to bring him back to life. So when he does that, he is then an immortal, but he doesn't know it until years later, whenever he's supposed to be dying, and realizes that everybody that he loves around him is dying, but he isn't. So Ponce de Leon never tells him, and Kakamoko ends up feeling obligated, and he owes Ponce de Leon his life, so he's forever in debt to Ponce de Leon. Okay, Ponce de Leon ends up being a villain throughout this story because he starts enslaving these people and by murdering them and then bringing them back to life. But they shrug off the fact that he murdered them because he saved their lives after. And so then they feel indebted to him. So Ponce de Leon has like a legion of these immortals that he murdered and brought back to life, thus creating people who work for him. Okay, so he's a very powerful man, Ponce de Leon. And then he pretends to not be an immortal himself, and then pretends to die and stages it, and then comes back as a family member of Ponce de Leon. And these people that he's murdered are forever indebted to Ponce de Leon, so they feel forever indebted to his descendants as well. So Ponce de Leon figured out how to own these people throughout time. Okay, so that is basic story about that, and then I want it to be based on certain factual events that has happened throughout time, historical events, to become an educational content that is so educational, and historians and people that are knowledgeable about history books written, from Deep Sea Scrolls to the actual history books that we have today, history textbooks. I want these key events wrapped up around a Kakamoko story, or a Kakamoko session, or a Kakamoko adventure. Okay, so Kakamoko is going to be in all of these elements, okay, that really happened in real life, but they are going to have some mystery and magicalness in that storyline based on that time. Okay, so we are going to have fact, and we're going to have fiction, and we're going to have magic, and we're going to have fairy tale, and we're going to have all these elements within this one franchise of a series. Okay, and then we are going to start um, collaborating with colleges and places where we can make the most money off of it by selling and marketing our movie as an educational form. An education meets mystery and fun for the whole family. Okay, so we can actually throw this into history. History people that are excited about history majors, colleges, people that are learning, make it a field trip for people, offer it for a free showing in the theaters to maybe a college, and then have revenue streams like that. Give them a discount as a whole field trip of a school, and just market the shit out of this in that way, on top of marketing it in the regular film industry way. Because I want it to be like a book, a series, a movie, a whole franchise full of products. Okay, a whole franchise full of everything, with everything in it. Okay. The next idea I'm going to speak about is called the silicone butthole corker screw, a constipation relieving device. This device, um, let me just start off with this because I have experienced major uh, disasters or catastrophical events in my own restroom from me being constipated. Years ago, like about twice this has happened to me, or 3 times in my life, I felt so sick and constipated that and there was like a log of feces trapped in my body that I had to get out, and me pushing it wasn't doing anything. It was just stuck in there. Okay, and now I had to actually I hate to share this with you, but it was just like a learning experience to where I thought that this device that I've gotten from the idea of a cork screw for a wine bottle. Okay, with those levers, you see these levers right here on this silicone corkscrew that is going to be powerful enough to jab into the feces and remove it with the lever. Okay, and some versions of this I only have one lever, which will make it easier to insert this part into your anus. Um, and then you're going to screw this into your logged feces, okay? And then you are going to be able to pull the lever down and eject the feces along with it, much like a cork on a wine bottle. Now, at first, they were against it. At first, people were against this because they felt it would damage the person's insides. But then I introduced the fact that it's going to be made out of silicone. Okay? And silicone, people already use silicone and stick silicone products up their ass all day long, every day. So silicone, there's no way we can have it harm people. It's not going to be sharp enough to. It'll be able to be sharp enough to insert the feces and pull it out, along with aiding you and lubricating it, and so you can push easier so the log feces can exit your body. The next slide I'm going to speak about is a slide of my psalms. Okay, instead of calling them songs, I decided I'm going to go ahead and call them psalms. Okay, I included 4 of them in here, but I still write them occasionally here and there every day, and I still have some saved. This one is called Strange. I don't know if you can see on that side, but if you pause it and just look into it, you'll be able to read the lyrics. The next one is called Never Doubt Yourself. This is a song that's very powerful, and it is a song I've written. And then the next song is called Sponge. This is one of my favorite songs that I wrote myself, and it is pretty cool. It even has a rap version in there, like a rap verse in there that people can rap along to it as well. My music, I like music from all areas, so you'll hear me listening to rap, you'll hear me listening to hip hop and R&B, you'll hear me listening to Justin Bieber, you'll hear me listening to Britney Spears, you'll hear me listening to Eminem, Beyonce, everything all the time. Okay, so I'm a very flexible music listener, and I love all kinds of music, even country, even rap, even fucking Hank Williams, for God's sakes. So I am all about music, and I love all kinds of music. All right. The next song is called "The Enunciation of Nikki." This is a funny song for me. I fucking wrote this one day, and I was singing it over and over again, along with Sponge. So Sponge and the Enunciation of Nikki are like really ones that go a lot like far back. Okay, these ones, Never Doubt Yourself and Strange, are these are actually very cool songs too. So just take your time and read them or sing along to them if you like. I don't really have a good singing voice, but I know that these songs are going to raise um, a lot of these songs are going to be successful because they're really good songs. I just need the right beat.